of realities may vary, where Cody has just shocked me with profanity, and I don't know if we can go on. So I'm Brian Noonan. That's Cody. I've got a foul mouth Gough, and what's coming up on tonight's episode besides more profanity spewing out of your head like a garden hose?
This is a clean podcast. I get the profanity out when we go live so that, it doesn't have to contaminate our feed. But here's what's on the docket, Brian. First, our 30-second, 5-minute, or 30-second in 30 seconds check-in about a minute. And then Brian has a full Thanksgiving dinner plate of topics prepared tonight. He'll talk about his fake Thanksgiving. I don't know what that means. And then we're going to get into what happens when you wake up and you find out you have to go to Dallas, which seems relatable. But we'll figure it out.
Sure.
And then we've got a lot to talk about Christmas decorating and just decorating in general. We're going to solicit a lot of feedback from the live crowd on this one because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to ask. And then I don't know if you know this, but a baby is going to be entering my home soon. And not just a baby, one of my babies.
I was going to say, do you know whose baby it might be?
I believe it's definitely my wife's. That one is 100%. So we'll see if there are any telltale signs that it's not mine, but I'm presuming it would be mine. And we'll talk about last minute prep for when a baby enters your home and some of the things that you really just didn't expect to wait till the last second to do, but here you are.
And we may have a special guest drop by.
That's always an action-packed episode. We may also just totally go off topic and get into something that's unrelated in every way to all of this, which is just the fun of realities may vary. But I'll start with my check-in real quick.
Go ahead.
Some of the cursing happened because my beverage this evening is I've been going to the gym hard. I had a big arm day today, and I'm all jacked up.
You're swole. Let's be honest.
And I, alcohol does impair recovery, so I didn't want to get do a Bourbon County or something super heavy. So I put a little bit of brandy, but not a lot, and I made an eggnog and brandy.
You got a nog already.
My famous eggnog and brandy, that right there. That's not my famous one. It's my dad's recipe.
Oh, look at you, even whipped creamed it up and got some garnish on there, and it's delicious.
A little bit of brandy, some nog. But anyway, my headphone cord, which you probably see swaying around if you ever watch the video of this, is very long and, of course, dipped a little bit into the whipped cream. I didn't wipe it off the cord. I sucked it off. But I have
repositioned. That's what she said.
There you go. And there it is. Well, I put 2 fingers of brandy in there, and that's, a good start.
That's really all you need.
Back to you, Brian.
All right. Well, I tonight am having a Schwarze Tinte Collab Stout. It is day number 5 of my Advent calendar, my Brewer's Advent calendar from Kalea. This is the second year Debbie and Molly have gifted me with the Brewer's Advent calendar. All beers from Germany. So far, the first 5 have been delicious. Last year, everything was terrific. This is brewed and owned by Kalea in Freisling, Germany. Yeah, it is very good. Now, it's supposed to be a stout, but it poured more like a red ale. It's a little, you can see it's not as dark as a stout. I do have a Stein, though, that I'm drinking it out of in honor of it being a German beer. I'm excited. Tomorrow is a Marzen. I've had a Helles and a Pilsner. So if you are a beer lover, and your brother probably could get you a deal on this because this comes from Costco.
Ooh.
Yes, and it is, again, the second year I've done it. I loved it so much last year that Debbie and Molly got it for me again this year. So Prost. Merry Christmas on your bounds.
Occasionally I see an Advent calendar that's like a beer one, and it's like 12 varieties of beer. And I'm like, I only like 2 or 3.
This is nice because it's most of them. Now, this is good. It's got a kind of a malty, roasty flavor to it. Not as creamy as a traditional stout, but it's very good. But this is all like Pilsners and lagers and Helles. And tomorrow I've got a Marzen coming up. So it's all German. Well, it's all imported from Germany, so it's really good. I saw somebody posted a picture of their Advent calendar, which I loved. it was Hans Gruber falling from the Nakatomi Plaza. Have you seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
And every day he gets closer to splattering on the ground.
Yeah, I see it advertised on Twitter all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
There's wine ones and all kinds of advent calendars. This is the one that I enjoy the most because it gives me an excuse for 24 days. I have to have a beer. I have to have at least one pint every day for 24 days.
Yeah.
Now, the first day I missed. And so I did 2 on the second day. Hello to Cindy, Christine. Mike has a hard Mountain Dew, and Nancy's drinking Dr. Pepper. To each his own. Yeah, Mike, you got Cody's eyes all.
No. What's okay? All right. What's hilarious to me? I'm doing my lifestyle video game podcast, Game Life Balance US, with my co-host John again.
Heard of it?
And we recorded like a bunch of episodes, and then 2 months later, I finally edited them. Point of the story is I just got finished editing tomorrow's episode. I just got finished. And the title of the episode is Alcoholic Mountain Dew and Cosmopolitan Bottle Service. And we spend the first 15 minutes or so talking about Alcoholic Mountain Dew. And it, I think, is very funny. And I was laughing at it. So, and Mike, it's really funny because when we recorded it, it was still exclusive in Iowa and Florida and one other state. Like you couldn't get it in Illinois at that point because we recorded this episode in like September.
Yeah,
which goes to show how high of a priority that show is for me. But I go on this whole spiel about kind of how we acquired it, and I think it's quite comical. So look up Game Life Balance US on your favorite podcast platform if you want to check that out tomorrow. It drops at like 2 a.m, so it'll be live all day tomorrow. But
Mike says they have a jewel now for you.
So and that was also funny that now I see them in the jewel. And anyway, if you listen to it, it's just ludicrous. You can also go to gamelifebalance.us, the website, and that'll direct you to our podcast feed. So
very nice.
But it's just so funny that you made that specific reference when I literally just edited myself talking to my co-host about it for like 15 minutes. And I'm really excited for the episode to go out.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to it. We'll pick it up. That check-in was pretty good time-wise.
I think so. The last episode I dropped, 17 people listened to it.
Nice. It's a lot. I don't know a lot about podcasts, but I know that's a big number.
It's terrible.
That's a terrible number.
No, I made a LinkedIn post about it. Oh, we talked about it a little bit last week, right?
We talked about that. You do it for your own enjoyment. You don't care if people listen.
I do. And like, I am very happy with tomorrow's. Like I listened to it. I was like entertained. I was like, this is great. That's what art is all about. You know, Brian, that's what art is all about.
I guess, I don't know much about art. I know it when I see it. I think I know it when I hear it. One day I will create it. And then things will be all perfect.
Create it? I hardly knew her.
And that's the buzzer.
For the first segment, fake Thanksgiving. Wait a minute. We've done a show since Thanksgiving. How could you have a fake? No. Oh, right. You did.
Right. I did faux Thanksgiving on Saturday. I forget. Debbie didn't like that we were calling it fake Thanksgiving. It's not fake Thanksgiving. It's real Thanksgiving. Well, it's, so I forget what we started calling it. But I got Thursday. I do like shopping for fake Thanksgiving better than I like shopping for real Thanksgiving because the crowds are all done because everybody's had their Thanksgiving except for us. So, I bought the turkey before real Thanksgiving and it had been in the freezer. But everything else I was going to get. And I realized even though there were only three of us eating the turkey and one more person coming, there were only going to be 4 for dinner. I made enough food basically to feed double that number at least. There are still a lot of leftovers. The turkey is gone because Debbie and Molly must have turkey sandwiches on to their description. Squishy white bread. I was told to get lettuce shreds and real mayonnaise. And that's what they eat the day after Thanksgiving and today. And so the turkey is gone. We have no more turkey. But we have 2 types of stuffing. We have some sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, corn, Brussels sprouts, King's Hawaiian rolls. We have everything still left over because I started cooking. Well, I wasn't going to cook Friday. I was tired. I got home and we were also trying to get the house kind of decorated, which we'll talk about later. So we were doing a lot Friday night. But I decided at about 8:00, all right, I'm going to make the cranberry sauce and I'm going to make one kind of dressing, my traditional dressing, which, it's just time consuming. And I'm cooking, and I kind of like the cooking, but then I finished those two dishes and I went to bed and I got up and at 8:00 the next day I started cooking and I cooked all day until we sat down for dinner at 4:15. Dinner was over in about 10 minutes. I invested countless hours, as you probably did. You hosted Thanksgiving, countless hours for a meal that is wolfed down by savages. And then it's like, oh, what now? All right. The only good thing is I don't have to do any of the cleanup because I clean as I go. So really the only stuff that is left is like the roasting pan because the turkey came out and a couple other things. Everything that I've used up to that point has already been cleaned and put away. So I don't have to deal with that. And Debbie handled all the putting the leftovers and stuff away. Was a little help from Molly. But so it was nice. It's just you realize I had forgotten because I hadn't cooked Thanksgiving, a big full-on Thanksgiving dinner in a while. Holy cow. It's a pain in the ass to try to get everything to come out at the same time. And I was following all these recipes and I whipped up a new kind of dessert dip to go with everything. And we had gotten a pie from a new bakery. I didn't get great reviews from the bakery staff, from Debbie and Molly, who had gone to pick up the pie on Friday or Saturday morning. So there was just a lot going on, And at one point, I'm in the middle of everything, and Debbie goes, well, I'm going to wait. And when you go take a shower, I'm going to clean off the counter so we can, do a buffet. And I was like, when do you think I'm going to have time to go take a shower? I took, I think 2 10-minute breaks, and sure, I could have taken a shower then, but it was like I had 10 minutes before either I had to add some ingredients or take something off the stove. It wasn't like, 10 minutes of leisure to kick back and enjoy myself. I did at one point during the festivities have one of my Advent wreath beers, though. You got to do that.
Right.
Now, did you do all the cooking for your Thanksgiving soiree, or did the wife do some?
No, she did most of it. Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay. See,
she manages a lot of the meal stuff in the house. I did Google the prime rib, but the choice rib, because we didn't get prime rib because we're not that fancy. I Googled the prime rib recipe and figured out, when to put it in the oven. And the prime rib, I will say, came out really good.
You did a prime rib on Thanksgiving. Nice.
Well, a choice rib, because a prime rib is a little more high end.
They still call it prime rib. Called prime rib.
I used a prime rib recipe on the choice rib. Maybe that's why I got it from the Jewel.
At least you didn't get a select rib.
No.
You can't go lower than choice.
No. I'm probably gonna do it again for Christmas, even though it's just gonna be the 4 of us. Well, it's gonna be just my wife and I and our children.
I'm gonna when you're ordering the beef, keep in mind the infant probably not going to eat a lot of prime rib.
I don't know, man. You've seen how my son eats.
Well, your son may be an exception to the rule of young children. Your son could take down a live cow,
right?
Probably strangle it and then cook it himself and eat most of it.
Yeah.
But you're having your newborn will only be a couple weeks old.
I don't know how fast teeth grow. I can make no promises. So
what you could do is just give her the rib, just give her the bone and let her suck on it.
Ooh. Well,
that sounded, I didn't mean it to sound that way.
I don't know if a rib bone with the meat, I don't think that's healthy, but
okay. Listen, you're the one who's going to feed your kid meat 3 weeks after she popped out of her, out of her mom.
You know what though? We had, for Thanksgiving, we had 5 adults, a teenager basically, and 2 2-year-olds.
Okay.
And I think I got like a 6-pound thing of prime rib because you're supposed to get like 1.5 pounds per person or something, or a pound.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I know they do the same for turkey, pound to a pound and a half.
Oh, I should have gotten 2 because the next day we only had like 4 slices of meat
See,
left
that's the
over.
thing. Yeah. That was the thing with the turkey. I could have gone, I had an 8-pound turkey breast for basically 3 people because the 4th person doesn't eat turkey.
Mm.
So it was 3 people. I'm like, yeah, 8-pound turkey breast, that should be more than enough.
So you had plenty leftovers, right?
Well, I had enough for a few sandwiches. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna get another 6-pound prime rib. That's what I'm gonna do.
nice.
I'm gonna get six between 6 and 7, honestly, because plus with a newborn, it's not like you have a lot of time to cook anyway. So if I'm gonna like spend 3 hours roasting a rib, I might as well have leftovers for like 3
Have some
days.
leftovers. Yeah, make some sliders.
Yeah.
Grind it up. Now, Christmas is definitely a beef holiday. We have beef here at the house on Christmas
What
too.
kind? What kind of beef?
Usually I have a tenderloin. I get a nice beef tenderloin, roasted up. Debbie and Molly like that better than the prime rib. They think I love prime rib. I haven't had prime rib in ages. I love it. I love prime rib. I love taking the ribs and gnawing at them like a rat. Delicious. But the tenderloin is nice and easy. Comes out beautiful. You slice it up, and then with that, those make great sandwiches left over. My good friend Steve Stahl, who I got to say is bothering me constantly, not just me, but I think the rest of the world. He's trying to make everybody jealous because he's on partial retirement, and he went down to the tropics. He's living somewhere on an island off Mexico, I think. It's somewhere down there. He is posting every day like beautiful sunsets and him on the beach and how, I'll go back to work a little bit in the spring, but now I'm an expat and I'm living here and it's sunny all day. It's sunny every day. And while we love Steve, we want to strangle him because now we're all, it's cold here. And he's in Costa Rica. Yeah, he's in Costa Rica. And we had peanut butter pie, by the way, Steve, not pumpkin or pecan. Pecan, as we like to say. But yeah, Steve, I'm very jealous. And it's not, I know jealousy is one of the 7 deadly sins. But, the man's living on a beach somewhere with Costa Ricans, both which sound fantastic to me. I don't habla the Espanol, but I think I could survive with my gregarious personality being an expat.
I think you could. Yes, I agree with that assessment.
Cerveza, por favor, baño. I'm good. Hola, ¿cómo está? Bien. Buenos tardes.
Man,
I got it all, Cody.
You're schooling me. If only my wife was here.
Yes, if only your wife was there to be impressed by my foreign tongue.
Everyone is bilingual there. Yes. Yeah. I'm going to cook a lot of food for Christmas. Now, when you said you like to beat the crowds thing on Thanksgiving, I couldn't help but think of my high school economics teacher who had one daughter and bought all of her Christmas presents the day after Christmas because everything goes on sale the day after Christmas.
That's too big a risk.
Don't you think it's a risk? How's it risky?
It's risky because what your kid might want the day after Christmas in 363 days is going to change.
No. Yeah, Christmas for that year, the day after Christmas.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
So there will be no presents on Christmas. However, tomorrow or on the 27th, you will be amazed and
26th.
Mystified.
26th.
Well, he would give them to her on the 26th?
Oh, yeah.
Or would he make her wait?
No, they would go shopping and then I don't even know if they wrap them. I think it was just like, all right, here's your gifts.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
You are a cheap MFer if that's what you're doing.
But you think
dirty, cheap MFer.
But doing a Thanksgiving a couple weeks after Thanksgiving is obviously different.
That's 100%. We had to. I didn't choose. Like, if we had Thanksgiving, that would have been fine. Sometimes after Thanksgiving, like the day after, if we go somewhere, I will make just a turkey breast for, the ladies and myself to have some leftovers. but I don't do the whole big dinner. It'll be like, all right, I'll roast a turkey breast, maybe make some mashed potatoes or whatever. But yeah, this was out of necessity. This was not. If we don't have to do this again ever, I'm good. But I have a feeling now that you got all that nog out of there.
I did.
Is your lizard tongue going to come out and lick the inside of that glass clean?
I'll do that on camera.
Yeah, well, that's what got you your wife. We understand that. Listen,
beer after that.
If you got strengths, you might as well flaunt them.
So you wouldn't do it again? Like you're not like, oh, this was so nice.
Oh no. I would. No, if like say next year we're not going to my brother's or whatever, and we're going to be home for Thanksgiving. We're going to have Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. You know that. Oh, of course. And I would never not have. You know, if we were. One day I'd like to be in a tropical locale or in New Orleans or something for Christmas. I think that would be fun. But we would celebrate Christmas on Christmas. You know, we're not gonna, or I'd love to go to London or Ireland on Christmas. I think that'd be beautiful. But yeah, I know the Thanksgiving is always going to be on that day unless there's a necessity. Okay. And this was necessitated by horrible illness for my loved ones. You dig?
Well, I'm glad it went well, but you've definitely inspired me to buy way more meat than I need, and I feel good about that.
Yeah. Oh, listen, if you want, just leave me a plate out on your porch. I'll swing by. I don't want to interrupt you with the baby, but I'm always up for some prime rib, like the end cut myself, to be honest with you. You get that extra flavor.
I don't know much about the cuts, and you made me feel bad about the bone because my sister-in-law and her husband and daughter, they brought their dog with them, and the dog got one of the bones.
No.
Oh yeah, well,
that is a lucky dog.
I know. Well, apparently, my brother-in-law, and they're all wonderful people. I have great things to say about all of them, but apparently he's a big time dog person, and like literally cooks some meat and gives it to the dog every night. Maybe not cook, or maybe it's raw. But there is my sister-in-law did say that there is a separate piece of meat that is provided for the dog as a thing. So this dog got a whole prime rib bone and threw it in the backyard, and it was like, go to town. So we only had, I don't even know what happened the other one. I think either the dog got it the second day, the day after Thanksgiving, or because my wife was like, oh, maybe I'll make a broth. Ended up in the dog. Doesn't matter. I'll go with that prime rib. Now, if you've, I'm sure, celebrated Thanksgiving or Christmas, just you and the missus. And when having done that, do you still do up a big kind of fancy meal every time? You always do something special, right?
Yeah. It's the holidays. What am I gonna do? Let's get a White Castle? No, we're gonna. I'm gonna cook it up.
Okay, I asked because this is my first one, right? Presuming that things all go as planned over the next few weeks, it's just gonna be me and my wife and our 2-year-old, but he does whatever. He doesn't care.
He's very demanding. He might want something. He's gonna look at you and go, "What is this? What kind of slop are you serving me on Christmas?"
I got to give him a lot of food, but I don't think he's going to care if it's fancy or not, right? He's not at that age. And then the newborn, whatever. So, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'll make a prime rib and we'll have a couple sides. But, I'm like, what do other people do? Do other people, or are they ever just like, we'll order Chinese, call it a Christmas, that kind of thing?
Well, New Year's Eve, we do that. New Year's Eve, we get sushi. That's our.
Dude, I love sushi on New Year's Eve, and that's still kind of a special thing, right?
Sure, it is. Oh no, it's a very special thing.
Because no one cooks for New Year's Eve unless you're hosting a big party. No one is like, I'm going to make a cutlet, steak on the grill because it's too cold outside to grill. Usually, you know what I'm saying.
But you're a man. You got that big grill. That's what I was going to say. You could do something simple. Instead of a big elaborate meal, you could just get 2 nice steaks, do them on the grill.
I hate that idea. No, not fancy enough.
Okay, then go with your tenderloin or your prime rib.
It needs to be over-determined.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
Whatever I do needs to be over-determined.
Over-determined. Explain.
I love this word. It means, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, determine, account for, or cause something in more than one way or with more conditions than are necessary. So, like, if I made
I'm
2
gonna let
steaks,
you. I'm gonna let you
that's
finish this up.
nice. But if I
Right.
make like a prime rib, mashed potatoes, stuffing, and like a handmade salad, that's more things than necessary.
Sure, it adds to the festivity of the day. It makes the day seem a little more important
Mhm.
than just a random Saturday or Sunday night dinner.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Listen? Why don't you make some figgy pudding? Why don't you make yourself make a nice dessert? Get your prime rib or a beef tenderloin. Something that's easy to cook and quick. And then you could do. You know what I like to do on Christmas? Instead of the usual mashed potato, I go twice baked. I make a very nice twice baked potato. Look, it adds a little something, as you're saying. It's over determined,
Mhm.
and it's delicious. I Yes.
I don't remember what I was gonna ask. Go ahead.
I don't know. Was it something
Oh,
about my
no.
twice baked potatoes?
No, you said figgy pudding, and it reminded me one of the 2 Bourbon Counties I considered having tonight was I bought another fig.
Or did you
So
really?
I bought another stir. Yeah. Well, so yeah,
You're out of your mind.
no, listen, here's what happened. I have like 5 Bourbon County stouts in my fridge, and
Right.
yes, I could drink them, but like I don't like because if I busted it, I could drink the whole thing and I'm wasted.
Right
That's so
on.
unnecessary. Or I could pour one snifter and then save the rest of the next night. It does keep really well, but it's just not as good. So I was like, I just want to go to the liquor store and grab a 4-pack of the Revolution, one of the Revolution Deepwood series,
Okay.
because they're cans, and I can crack open a can of like a 14% beer and pour it and drink it, and I'm good. They're a good quantity. They're a better quantity. And so I walked into my liquor store. Well, they didn't have any of the Revolution Deepwood series, but they had 5 years of Bourbon County stouts, and they were all 10% off because it was like a small business Saturday deal.
Really?
So I bought a Mon Cherie from 2019. I bought a fig one, and I bought a one of the 2022 coffee ones, which I brought to some friend's house on Saturday and split with them. The coffee one is pretty good. So anyway,
Wow.
do you know that on YouTube you can like hot photo my sister heart from
Yeah, I just blocked that person from
sex69.fun?
the restream.
There's some fun chats going on in the chat on this restream. Let me tell you.
Roger wants you to make Chex Mix. That'll be nice and fancy for you.
Well, puppy chow is very fancy.
Puppy chow is delicious.
Do you make that?
Molly does. I found a new boy. This turned into a cooking show. I found a recipe for this chocolate mint dessert dip that takes about 5 minutes to make. Debbie and Molly were raving about it. Couldn't stop talking about it. Ate it like it was crazy. It is the most simple thing ever. It's a box of instant chocolate pudding, a little peppermint extract, a mocha frappuccino Starbucks that you buy in the store, like the bottle. So
Okay.
a bottle of that, 5-ounce box of instant pudding, a little bit of peppermint extract, and then a container of Cool Whip. You mix it all up, then you crumble candy canes on top of it, and you serve it with vanilla wafers and graham crackers, marshmallows, anything to dip in it. It takes no time. You put it out with the candy cane crushed on top of it, and you look like the bomb. Like you're the man who's been working nonstop all day on your desserts.
Oh.
Debbie and Molly actually were eating it like moose. They weren't even dipping stuff in it.
Oh
They're
my
just
gosh.
like,
Dude, I need to go to a holiday party because my wife doesn't like mint chocolate chip. So I can't make it for her to
for
impress
as
her.
lovely as she is,
I
she's
know.
lacking.
No, it's good.
Oh,
No, it's good. Every couple's got to have the one thing
yeah.
that one person likes and the other doesn't. Because, like, if I want snack food and I buy some like mint Oreos, I know it's the only thing in the house she's not going to touch.
All right.
It's great. Same with ice cream, right? Like she's got like a pint of coffee ice cream. If I want a pint of coffee ice cream, I buy it. I have it once and I cross my fingers it won't be gone the next time I look at it. Mint chip, they'll stay in there for 2 months. Divorce her now. Wow, Steve
Yeah, I
really
don't.
going
If you don't like
hardcore
mint
into
and chocolate together, you're some sort of you're vicious.
But my son's into it because I exposed him very early. So I got him fixed up good.
Yeah, so that was fake Thanksgiving. And now everything has turned to Christmas.
Well, happy fake Thanksgiving, and I cannot
Thank
wait
you.
to get that recipe from you. Where did you find this recipe? Where do you
I find
procure your recipes?
a lot of my Instagram is food related, whether
Really?
it's meats or desserts. This one was somebody go meatloaf and something, and I looked up and I was like, "Oh, this looks." I said, "Debbie, hey, how does this sound to you?" She said, "Oh," and then once I made it, both she and Molly were like, "Oh my god, this is so delicious!" And literally 5 minutes.
Nice.
That's all it took. 5 minutes. So I follow them. I follow this OMG chocolate desserts. I follow a lot of steak and grilling sites, and so I found a lot of them on Facebook or Instagram. Recipe Rebel. I follow her. She has a lot of good recipes. I've made some soups and things from her. So yeah, I've got a recipe now that I'm doing for Christmas. A no bake candy cane cheesecake. Yeah, that came from let's see, I forget, but yeah, I just printed out honey pecan French toast cups. I print them all out. I got a whole file of recipes. Yeah, I'm loving it. Loving it. It's getting in. You got to get in the holiday spirit.
Well, I'll hit you up. Roger used to make an Anders mince pie. Oh, Andy's mince? Probably Andy's.
Andy's. It's Andy's. Yeah. He can't spell. He's busy.
Autocorrect. He could be using voice to. I realized a lot of people do a lot of typos because they're using voice to text. Not that he's using that, but a lot of people do use that.
Do they? I've never used voice to text.
I used to use it when I was single and I was in the dating pool. I almost exclusively used it because what I recognized was like if you whip out your phone, which is the most legal thing you can whip out on a date. Let me tell you that right now. Any singles out there, take notes. So you whip out your phone and you're like, they're like, you don't know if you're swiping on Tinder with somebody else or what the deal is. But if I pull it out and be like, hey, yeah, I'll reply to you soon, comma, I'm on a date, period, you stupid idiot, exclamation point, LOL, send, then like the person knows exactly what I said and to whom. Right. And it was actually it's polite. I think more people should use it. I fell out of habit because I use an encrypted texting software program because I am I don't want the man
who's tracking you.
Well, everyone that Snowden rebelled against, you know, he knew what was up.
I'm looking. We're getting a lot of now some. Yes. So Rogers made Andy's pie. That sounds good. Gina says she used to bake a candy cane coffee cake, stuffed with dried apricots and maraschino cherries.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds good too.
That sounds amazing.
Man, I got to get. It's pretty soon. It's going to be Bacon Day for Debbie and Molly, where they make their cookies. I've already put in my order. I had to cut back. I used to ask. They used to bake tons and tons. Now they don't. So I was like, well, can you make this one? Debbie's like, what's your favorite? I said, all right, this one's my favorite. I said, but this one is a very close second. So maybe you can, get that in there too. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Mm-hmm.
Can I call an audible and quickly insert a topic before we go to?
You can insert whatever you want, Cody. I'm wide open to your insertions today.
Okay. Before we go to Dallas. I listened to the first 40 minutes of Ye's interview on Alex Jones. God. Did you expose yourself to any of that?
I did a little bit. And yeah, here's the biggest shock that came out of that was that Alex Jones seemed to be the voice of reason. And I found myself thinking, well, I know he's a lunatic, and I know he's been sued and lost $1 billion. But he seems to know that Ye is off the reservation. Mm-hmm. Steve's going to make another blender drink.
Can I just say why? And we don't need to linger on this. It's just it's whatever. People talk about it on Twitter. Everybody knows Kanye West is a little bit unhinged, pretty much.
A little bit.
pretty much totally unhinged at this point. And then you put him on a like, if I had heard like Kanye was on Joe Rogan, I probably wouldn't have checked it out. But I'm like, all right, Alex Jones is already like the craziest dude. He's
Yeah, I got
already
yeah.
so out there, right? And I know on some level part of it's an act. I don't
on
think
whose
Alex
part?
Jones.
Okay.
I don't think he truly believes everything he's saying. Because on one of his Rogan appearances, one of his 4.5-hour Rogan appearances, he did a little bit of wink, wink, nod, nod, and you can tell there was
Oh,
some
really?
there. I'm not saying he's not a little nuts, but I think I don't think he's at Kanye's level. So anyway, it doesn't matter. When I found out, here's why I found it entertaining. So first of all, real quick, from all I know of digital advertising and monetizing podcasts,
Yes.
I don't know this for sure, I can't confirm, but based on my expertise, I do not believe that if you pull up the feed and watch it on InfoWars, I do not believe that translates to making money for Alex Jones. Based
Okay.
on the way that deals are monetized. Typically, they'll buy a certain number of impressions up front, which means for certain reviews up front. If it was YouTube, he would get paid as the views rack up. But the way it's baked in, again, I don't think I was giving him money by doing it. So that's why I have no moral qualms.
Right.
If you've seen the out of context clips, that's funny. But here's why I found it funny. So if you're curious, and here's why you might want to just go watch it if you're just like really drunk or high one night and you're just like, I need something stupid to put on and want to get some entertainment. The specific reasons it's funny is because they're two different, very specific types of crazy.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, so Kanye goes on this thing about he starts off talking about how we all need to follow Jesus and Jesus is the way and like the US government is not following Jesus and that's bad. Okay, like so far I'm on board. Great. And then he talks about the problem of pornography, and pornography is really bad and pornography is harmful to people. And he said that basically if you watch porn, it's not that much worse than pedophilia because and this, I can actually follow this logic somewhat. He's like, a lot of women who are in the adult film industry are victims of like some sort of sexual abuse, or including pedophilia. And he's like, so if you're looking at people that have been damaged by certain things, then really you're kind of just like one step away from, basically being a pedophile. So
that's a lot more than one step away.
It's a stretch, Brian, but it's
a huge stretch. Come on.
But there's but let's just humor him. There is a logic to that. That is followable, right? You can follow. You're like,
I guess to a point I can follow this.
Yeah, you're like, okay. I wouldn't subscribe to that.
To a point I can follow.
I wouldn't quite equate the two. But I could. There's a truth like kind of nestled somewhere in there, right? Like a little bit of a like. There's exploitation happening, and this is actually well documented, right? In the pornography adult industry, like there's a lot of women with really rough backgrounds that are like taken advantage of and things. So there's enough of a nugget of truth to like kind of be like, all right, we're at least still in reality, right? Well, maybe a little extreme, but a bit of a reality, right? Then this is why this interview is just out of control, kind of funny for me. Then Alex Jones comes in, and he's a different kind of like crazy extreme, right? He's not going at it from the like, oh yeah, that's really bad, that's not morally just angle. He goes, also it's a psyop. Pornography is a psyop. It's a psyop to play by the government to take control of everybody's what they're watching. They can use it to mind control you. They can use it. So like
the government is using porn to mind control people?
Yes. Oh, yes.
All right.
Oh, yeah. No, right. So you've got like what you would essentially, at this point is basically kind of like a religious extremist. And then you've got Alex Jones, who's the government conspiracy extremist. And the Venn diagram of them overlapping is so ridiculous. And the weird thing is no one lets anyone complete a thought. So they'll get 2 to 3 sentences out and then someone jumps in and then they jump to something else. So nothing is ever concluded. They just kind of say like weird things. And then occasionally Kanye will like pull out 2 props and start talking in like a weird baby voice because he's impersonating what he says is Benjamin Netanyahu, even though he claims he didn't even know who Benjamin Netanyahu was until 10 minutes before the podcast. He just thought the name was funny, so he would start talking about it.
Let me ask you this. Did he ever explain why he was wearing the terrorist mask? Like he was
Yes.
like he was part of the raid on Entebbe?
It was something about how he didn't want his face being monetized, and people use his face to sell things. And so he's like, I'm going to cover it because it's my face and my property, and I don't want people exploiting it. He actually said it in a more articulate way than I just did. And again,
Okay.
it like there was enough of a kernel of reality to where you're like, okay, I at least like understand that you know what reality is. But then like Alex Jones would jump in, and then it just becomes like I was locked in a freezer in World War II and underwater, and I saw the Atlanteans running around giving each other vaccine. Like, like just like so out. You're like, where did I land? How did I? We were barely got the plane off the ground, and then I don't even know. So
Now,
anyway,
the obviously there's a lot of people who could be upset about this interview. There's no two ways about it.
Mhm.
We could start with Jewish people being upset about this interview. To me, if I'm Yoo-hoo, I am sending a cease and desist order immediately to Kanye West. He had a nice bottle of Yoo-hoo on display. Speaking of monetizing something that's not yours, I don't know if he was getting paid. If he was getting paid by Yoo-hoo, then we all need to boycott Yoo-hoo. But if he just decided, you know what goes well with anti-Semitism, Yoo-hoo. That's not a message I want my company associated with. So if I'm Mr. Yoo-hoo or Johnny Yoo or Captain whoever's in charge of that company, I am sending a strongly worded letter banning him from ever drinking my product again. Because that's imagine if I was on here spouting some anti-Semitic nonsense or anti-gay stuff, and I had a nice big can of Revolution Fistmas, and I'm guzzling it down, and I'm yelling about the Zionists, and I'm yelling about trans people, and I'm yelling about pronouns and all that stupid crap that we hear all the time. But my favorite beer is no, we can't. Shut up. You can't have that at all. You're not allowed to ever even mention, you're not allowed to even think of our beverage.
You can't even
let
buy it.
alone
You get
drink
kicked
it.
out of 7-Eleven. Can't even go to 7-Eleven and buy it.
Every store that sells our product has a picture of you, your family, anyone you've ever been associated with, a guy you might have had a drink with in college. Nobody associated with you gets to buy this because there's a good chance you're going to end up with one of these beverages.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is fair.
And since you brought up all this stuff, I should caveat with I am not trying to promote this interview, nor would I say anyone should take it seriously. And it is offensive, and it does say many harmful, very harmful things. But I'm not a person that would ever take any of that seriously, right? So
you're not soft-minded enough to be molded by the likes of Alex Jones or Yee.
Right. No. And I this is like a comedy, like humorous little podcast that we're doing. Yes. Right. And I just wanted to share a thing that I experienced that I thought was like quite ludicrous. And there can be humor to be found in the moment to moment experience of it. If your mind can easily filter out all of the horribly offensive stuff, which
there's a man wearing a full black mask and a jacket that looked like he had stolen it from a NASCAR driver. Right. It had patches everywhere. I'm like, is that Kanye or Dale Earnhardt? Who's spouting off here? Because I can't see their face, and I don't know. What if it's a Kanye impersonator? What if it's now I can't remember the driver. There's one there's a famous African American NASCAR driver. Maybe it's him. I doubt it, but who knows? Maybe it's Alex Jones's butler. That he just I don't know what the hell is going on with that group. So yeah, it could be anybody.
Yeah. So,
but
I hope he's never
for a guy who doesn't want to monetize, he had product placement everywhere.
Who did?
Kanye. Between the Yoo-hoo and the jacket with all the patches on it, he was captain product placement.
I don't think anyone was making money off of it, though.
You don't think somebody went, hey, you want to wear my jacket on that Alex Jones show you're going? I didn't even know InfoWars was still a thing.
I didn't either. I was like, how do people even find this? I Googled.
Bubba Watson, thank you, Steve. Bubba Watson.
Bubba Watson, yeah. I literally Googled it and I was like, where do we even find this? And then finally I was just like, isn't InfoWars the site?
I'm like, where do we even go? Where would one even seek out? Who? First of all, who's still seeking out Alex Jones, and where are they doing it? That's got to be a sad life, right? If you're seeking out Alex Jones somewhere, that's you're one day away from just going, hey, look, there's a train. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Just a horrible existence.
One of my friends, I texted a couple of my friends about it, just kind of made a joke about it. And one of my buddies was like, I fail to see the difference between you thinking that true crime is such a problem, but then you have the morbid curiosity to watch this Alex Jones thing. So I'm like a very anti-true crime guy. I hate true
Oh,
crime
are you?
ideology. Yeah, very, very
Why do
much
you hate
against
true
it.
crime?
A lot of people
It's
love it.
true and it's crime.
Predominantly women. It is like 80% women.
Yeah, the
watch it.
murderinos. What's up with the murderinos?
The top TV. I used to work for the corporate conglomerate that produced the number one true crime TV station, and it was like almost all watched by women. So
is that True TV?
No, it was ID, Investigation Discovery.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So, and I've worked on true crime podcasts, like I get it, but I listen to Serial, which I did not find morally objectionable, but I find other ones do, and I think that is because people take real life tragedies that destroyed families and communities and turn them into entertainment, and I think that is grotesque, and I think that's offensive and obscene. That bothers me. Okay. Watching two off the wall whack jobs just dig themselves into a hole and try to have a conversation when they're both insane narcissists and everyone's already canceled them. I don't see the harm in that. So, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe Cody, check this out, or like, what about the things they said, blah, 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 and you're a true crime fan, then piss off because I win that argument. It's still not, I'm still got the moral high ground there. That's where I'm at.
Sure, except according to them, you're one step away from pedophilia. So you can stand on your moral high ground all you want till it starts to erode away under your cavalcade of sins. Cavalcade of Sins is actually going to be my next album.
Where's the buzzer?
There it is.
Why are you going to Dallas?
So it all starts on fake Thanksgiving. Of course, it all starts on fake Thanksgiving when Tulane plays University of Central Florida for the American Athletic Conference Championship in football at Ullman Stadium on the campus of Tulane University. So we're watching the game. It's on in the background and stuff. And Tulane wins, and I was like, oh, isn't that fun? And Molly's like, oh, look, now it's all of a sudden a football school. I graduated from a football school. They sucked when I was there. I wish they had blah, 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 blah. And Tulane, to their credit, last season they went 2-10. This year, they went 2-11, or 11-2, rather. So a huge, huge turnaround. They win the conference. That means they're going to a major bowl game. Turns out they're going to the Cotton Bowl, and they're going to play USC, the University of Southern California. Well, we went to bed going, oh, man, that's very cool. Tulane's going to a bowl game. It's excellent. So I go to sleep and sleep the sleep of angels. After toiling all day in the kitchen, I wake up Sunday, I was like a chef, lunch, just still covered with gunk from the day before, so I take a quick shower. Come downstairs, there's my wife and daughter. And they tell me we're going to the Cotton Bowl. And I'm like, what? Yeah, wouldn't it be fun if we go to the Cotton Bowl? And I'm like, I don't know. When's the Cotton Bowl? January 2nd. Oh, in Dallas. Oh, we're going. I'm like, oh, okay. Molly goes, I found us tickets and they're up in the 400 level, but they're only like $35. I'm like, all right, well, the tickets are good price wise. I go, but where are we going to stay? We got to find a hotel. We got to find a hotel. Well, let's get on it. I'll look. Molly's like, I'll look at Airbnbs and you look at hotels. So I go, well, all right, go get my laptop. So I'm down now. I'm on booking.com, and I don't want to brag, Cody. I'm a genius level member of bookings.com. That's right. So I log in. I find a couple hotels and Molly goes, listen, can't, if it's only going to be a little bit more, can't we stay at somewhere nicer than like a La Quinta? And I was like, well, all these La Quintas in Dallas, the Dallas, Irving, Fort Worth, Arlington Metroplex that they have set up down there, because everything's bigger, even the city limits in Texas. I'm like, okay, so we're ends up because of my genius discount, we got a suite at the Homewood Suites for like $100 a night.
Shut up.
Yep. So now we have a room, and we had to, all the tickets were resale. So we're looking, and we find the section. We're like, all right, this row looks good. And the guy is selling anywhere from 2 to 12 tickets. Because when you're buying 3, it's hard because everybody doesn't want to sell 3 tickets. People want to sell either 2 or 4, but this guy had 12 tickets. But you can't pick the exact seat. He's like, well, I have these tickets from seats 1 through 12. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could see them because I want the aisle. But you can't. So, of course, we got rows, seats 10, 11, and 12. But that's fine. It's at AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play, which has been nicknamed Jerry's World because of Jerry Jones. It's this giant, giant stadium. So we had our hotel room, we had our tickets, and then I'm like, all right, well, I looked up flights just because there was not a chance. So we're driving to Dallas. We're leaving late New Year's Eve. We're going to arrive on the 1st of January, and then the game's on the 2nd, and then we're going to drive home on the 3rd. So that's what we're going. And then, of course, then, of course, they've got to get some swag. We got to get some Cotton Bowl swag before we go. And the Cotton Bowl, God bless them, already released, the official Cotton Bowl merchandise on their website. And Debbie and Molly were like, well, we should probably get it now so we don't have to wait in line when we get there. And I'm like, all right. So they got sweatshirts, and I got a Tulane Cotton Bowl t-shirt, but it's indoors. So if the weather is good for the drive, it'll be fine because the stadium's indoor. It'll be beautiful. I'm sure USC is going to pummel Tulane, but it'll be fun. So yeah, that was, I really didn't get to decide if we were going to Dallas. I was told we were going to Dallas, and I was outvoted. When 2 out of 3 people say you're going to Dallas, my vote doesn't even count. So I didn't say anything. I was like, all right. Then today I get an email while I'm at school. I get a frantic email from Molly. You better buy parking for the Cotton Bowl because it's good. The prices are going up and up. And she was right. Because like the ticket prices, we bought them early Sunday morning. By later that day, the ticket prices had almost doubled. And then parking, she sent me the list, and I went on within 10 minutes, and those spots were already gone. I found a couple more. But we got them through SeatGeek, which is just as bad as Ticketmaster. Let's be honest. I'm buying a $30 parking pass, and there's $20 worth of fees. Redonkulous.
I mean, that's the fee world that we live in, though.
I hate the fee world.
I hate the fee world as well.
F the fee world, as they said in 8 Mile.
Did they say that there?
Well, they said F the free world. Because Free World was some rap group, a rap crew. So that's why we're going to Dallas. New Year's Eve. Instead of sitting at home drinking champagne, I'm going to be on the road, heading south to MAGA country.
So how did you respond to finding? I mean, it seemed like you just got right on board, right?
I'm going to tell you the truth, Cody. I don't have a choice. They were going to the Cotton Bowl. I could go or I could not. That was it. My choice was, did I want to go along? Because they were going.
So they hadn't already bought the tickets.
No, they waited. They weren't going to buy 2 in hopes that I wasn't. I'm sure they were hoping I wouldn't go, but they weren't going to buy the 2 tickets in hopes that I decided not to go. They had scouted out the tickets and knew that when talking to me to throw in how inexpensive the tickets were, would pique my, because if they had said, hey, let's go to the Cotton Bowl, the tickets are only $200, I would have said, you know what I have? I have a TV and a recliner, and I can buy, a bead of beer and make some gumbo, and it'll be just like being at the game. Except I won't have to stand in line to pee. I won't have to drive 14 hours each way. It's going to be lovely. But they said $30. Now the tickets ended up being I think like $38, and then $18, $19 in fees, whatever. But still, okay. So they had me there. And then I was sure we weren't going to be able to see, I had the plan. Yeah, the tickets were inexpensive. I knew we weren't going to be able to find an affordable hotel. I knew it until I looked and used my genius discount, which is what they call it. You get with your genius discount, the rooms are only this much. I'm like, oh, you rats. So yeah, so now I got inexpensive tickets. I got a nice hotel room for a great price. Gas prices are plummeting. Thanks, Biden. So Joe's not helping me out by jacking up the gas prices. Oh, so everything's fallen into line. And then, to make matters worse, the Cotton Bowl site had already put their stuff on sale. Like not for sale, but on sale. And I'm like, how did they just announced the teams. You barely had time to print these sweatshirts and you're already putting them on sale? Well, sure, because it's a big thing. Get them before Christmas. So there's a lot of USC fans and a lot of Tulane fans who are now getting Cotton Bowl sweatshirts for Christmas. But yeah, I didn't have a choice. And, what am I going to do? Let them go by themselves? Sit here, enjoy the peace and quiet with the dogs on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day? Watch the game on the 2nd? No. As good as that might sound, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to Dallas, the dead of winter. Should I get a big belt buckle? I used to wear cowboy boots and big belt buckles all the time.
You don't still have any?
No, I got rid of them all.
Oh.
My feet got too bad to wear cowboy boots.
What is your threshold for when seeing something live other than a concert is better than seeing it in person? Like a sporting event.
There's none. There's absolutely none.
It's just never better. You would always rather be at home.
Better. I'll be honest. I was at an NFC championship game when the Bears won the NFC championship, and that was very, very exciting. But it was really cold. But it was very exciting. Mm-hmm. This will be cool for a couple of reasons. One is because Molly's very excited about it being Tulane. 2, her freshman year was the first year the new stadium was open on campus. 3, I think it'll be cool to see Cowboys Stadium, this giant monstrosity to one man's ego. So I can't wait to see that. But, if it was out at USC and I couldn't drive it, not a chance.
Yeah.
This is pushing it.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's like a family thing. And Debbie was like, oh, look at us being so spontaneous. I don't want to kill the spontaneity. Oh, I'm Mr. Spontaneous. I'm Johnny Go with the Flow. You know that about me.
I did know that about you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. I just asked because all Elite Wrestling, my AEW, my pro wrestling.
Where are they?
League that I'm into. Look at this hoodie I was wearing before.
Look at that. That is sweet.
We're in the AEW hoodie. You can't see anything. Yeah, if you're watching this. There we go. Here's the real logo. All Elite Wrestling AEW. A big fan. So they have a tradition because the CEO is from like Champaign. So their new tradition is Black Wednesday. Every Black Wednesday before Thanksgiving, they do a show in Chicago.
Okay.
At the Wintrust Arena, which is by UIC.
Oh yeah, that's yes. Okay.
Kind of.
Is that one near McCormick Place? No,
yes.
That's DePaul. Is
that
McCormick?
It? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we went last year with my brother. He got tickets. It was cool. This year, it was the show after a pay-per-view, and we knew that some of the big acts that we really like would be there. But, we would have had to figure out a babysitter. We were hosting for Thanksgiving the next day, like out of towners, right?
Right.
It was one of those like, wow, logistically it would be a pain, but it's like, oh, we can see some really big names. But then, part of it was just like, but we could also just sit on our couch and watch it. And it like, I was there when CM Punk came back to wrestling after 7 years. Like
Yeah, and he got ice cream bars.
I got ice cream. There's nothing like that was like one of the most amazing live experiences ever, right? But you're not guaranteed that. To your point, you went
Right.
to the NFC Championship game. At least your team won, right? Like, what if they
Yeah,
had
but they might
lost?
not have. Yeah, that's what I keep thinking. There's a really good chance that they're going to lose,
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm like, I agree. You had too many things stacking up that you might have you'd probably would have had a good time, but then the next day or that night when you're running around, you would have been, oh, why didn't we just stay home?
Mhm.
And that's, yeah. So I'm with you. I think you made the right decision. Not that you asked my, you know, advice, but
Well, it
or
just
opinion.
just raises the question, like for a live event, because it's the same with football. It's like you get the commentary, you get to sit around eating nachos. You don't have to pay $15 for a beer,
Right.
Or do you go? When's the energy right? When's the weather right? All this other stuff. There's a lot of
And
variables.
on the with the a sporting event, you're right. You could spend a lot of money and your team loses. It's like these people who spend thousands to go to the Super Bowl and stuff. Okay, you're there for the experience, I guess. Like we're going to be there for the experience. Excuse me. Do we hope Tulane wins? Of course. Will we be bummed if they don't? Yeah, I guess. Well, I didn't go.
Super Bowl I don't get unless you're a super fan of one of the teams.
Right.
Because they're not even always great games.
No, the games aren't usually good. There's always I feel that way anytime I go to a sporting event. Oh, my team could lose. And like one baseball game a season is fun because I do enjoy going to the stadium. I like that. But all right, I'll listen to the games on the radio or I'll watch them on TV. Other than that, football, it's a pain in the ass to go to a Bears game. It takes all day. If I'm going to invest the 3 hours to watch the game, I can do that from the comfort of my home. And I know I sound like an old man. And you know what? Too bad, haters. I don't need to go cheer on my team, whether they're winning or losing. I can cheer on my team from the house. So my threshold is very, very high. There has to be a really good reason for me to go to a big event, even a concert. It's hard to justify the costs anymore. I would have loved to have seen Springsteen. He's coming up on tour. Yeah, they say, well, we've got some tickets that are about $100. Yeah, but you're so far away. I might as well just, watch a video or listen to the album. But I don't know. Speaking of that, real quick, if you want to see a really cool Springsteen thing, HBO Max is running the interview that Howard Stern did with him. It was the first time Stern has ever been able to interview Bruce Springsteen. It's 2.5 hours. I listened to it when it was happening on Sirius XM. Well, they turned it into an HBO special, and it is really, really cool.
Really?
Yeah, because Springsteen's in there, and he's telling stories, and he'll just pick up either his guitar or go to the piano, and he'll just start playing, and he's answering all these questions. And Stern he's really a good interviewer, and he does a great job talking to Bruce. And Bruce seems pretty forthcoming with different stories. It was really interesting to hear it, and then I watched it, and to see it was even better. So, if you're and I didn't have to spend $1,000 to see Bruce Springsteen. So, there you go. So that was the answer to your question. Steve wants to know what songs will be on my road trip mix: funeral dirges and fishing shanties. Those kind of songs. Nothing really uplifting. Maybe a little Trombone Shorty as we get closer to getting the New Orleans mood. But yeah, that'll be that. They already told me they're going to bring noise canceling headphones so they can't listen to my nonstop narration of the trip. Yeah. So they don't really like me, I don't think.
Sure, right. Well, yeah.
They tolerate me. I'm there because they can sleep. See, they know I'll drive.
Right.
So they can snooze-a-roo.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing stories about it. I'm sure that there will
be. Friends, this is going to be, I would say the second week of January, that's the podcast not to miss. It'll be the first it'll be the first podcast of the new year. The stars at night will be big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah, I'm looking at the calendar right now. Yikes. I'll just be getting back from Vegas. Man.
That's right. You should pop in for some of that one. Who knows your schedule? You got a lot of
I think that's the one I was going to come back anyway.
I don't, I'm going to text. I don't think our guest is coming.
He's got a lot going on.
He does.
I was going to say, I don't think my son is asleep. I don't know that he's
still
dead yet.
What's he up to?
Yeah.
Is your wife home?
Let's both text.
All right, yeah, I just sent a text.
Here we go. Let's
he probably forgot. Our special guest actually forgot that I was joining him on the air last week. So I was like, hey, you just confirmed with me. What's going on? But if he doesn't jump on, we'll make the announcement anyway. Did you see Kirstie Alley died today?
Yeah, that was sad.
That was sad. And not only Kirstie Alley, but Bob from Sesame Street, Bob McGrath.
Really?
Yes, he was 90.
That's
90 years old. One of the original cast members of Sesame Street. One of the original members of Sesame Street did 46 seasons on Sesame Street, and he died.
That's a lot of seasons on Sesame Street, and I've been watching a lot of the old seasons because you can get them on HBO Max. But it's weird; They only have a few episodes from like a couple of the first seasons, then it jumps to like season 30 or something.
Well, yeah, it was 69 when it premiered. They probably didn't save a lot of them.
Yeah,
just did them, and that was it.
It's too bad.
Barbara says I should go to Justin Outlet to buy boots. I've been to Dallas and Fort Worth a number of times. I really enjoy it. There is a part of me that really loves cowboy culture, and Fort Worth is the cowboy town. It is, the stockyards are there. Billy Bob's huge country bar is there. There's the stockyard area is like a lot of restaurants and hotels. And there was one bar that we went into a couple times where the bar stools are saddles. So you really can feel like a yokel. So that's fun. I can't wait to do that. But I'm going to get there. I'm going to have something to eat. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to go to the game. I'm going to sleep. And then I'm going to drive again. Steve is a TV executive. I know they had videotape in 1969, but maybe they didn't save them. They didn't save a lot of Bozo Circus stuff. They didn't save a lot of those kids shows. They just taped over them,
That was actually a whole thing with Doctor Who. BBC lost a bunch of episodes of Doctor Who. And one year at some point, someone found some dude died, I think, and bequeathed all of his he had all these reel-to-reels he got at a BBC sale or something, or inherited or something like that, and just left it to the BBC, or they found him in a garage sale or something. But either way, literally the BBC had all these reels just kind of like went away. Some I think maybe burned in a fire, but there were a ton of episodes just lost, and then they got them back at some point, and they're like, "Oh, cool! Thanks for saving our Doctor Who episodes." Because again, it was like kind of we were not really big into the archival stuff back in the day consistently, and that vary greatly from country to country. There's a lot of Latin American countries that have lost a lot of their older stuff just because they didn't archive, and they had the technology, they had tapes, they did a lot of the broadcasting that other countries were doing, but they just didn't hang on to it.
Well, here's the good news. I have 2 giant plastic tubs filled with CDs from all the old overnight shows, or from most of the old overnight shows from the very beginning. So if you're an archivist, when I die, you can go through. I was listening because people still talk about the Harry Balls segment. And I listened to that the other day. I was like, oh my God, how did we get away with it?
Wait, you have it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was on that drive. You sent me a Google Drive with all kinds of stuff.
I thought we had lost that one.
No, Harry Balls is on there.
Oh, dude. Okay.
I listened to it. And
I have a Google Drive folder with like
a bazillion things, a lot of out of context stuff,
18
lot of
gigabytes of podcasts that we did
Yeah.
or something. It's huge.
We got a lot of stuff.
It's literally 10 years of stuff. So, Steve, if you
Steve
can hook
thinks
us
I
up
should
with,
send the Library of Congress with his stuff.
I was gonna say, if you can hook us up, I mean, we would gladly do that.
I don't, Mike. I have to see if we have any of the Emperor. We may have some of the Emperor, which upon release would immediately get us canceled.
We did a lot of things.
I still can't believe that we did the Emperor for so long and nobody said anything.
No one ever complained. No, we did. There was a character, Emperor Finahito, who had a thick accent. We will not go any further than that in this.
He was the leader of the
description.
Asian carp back when the Asian carp were a big thing.
Yeah.
And he hated Americans.
And there is no way any of those segments would have been appropriate today. It's crazy
upon
my
demise, you can release them.
It's crazy how fast things change. Like, I feel like I'm still, I'm a very young adult, right?
You're
I started
a very young adult.
Started my post-college career basically a couple years out of college on your show. And then like we're doing that kind of stuff. And now it's fast forward 15 years later and it's like, oh, right. That's illegal.
Yeah, we can't do that anymore. And it's okay that we can't. And listen, we weren't doing it as an insult.
No.
We were, in my head, there was a crazy fish with one of those old thin mustaches. And he was the leader. He was the emperor. And he was dressed like an emperor, except he was a fish.
Yeah.
That was that. Hey, guess what, Cody? In our green room right now, we have a very special guest, a man who needs no introduction, mostly because I don't know what to say about him and not cause trouble. But he's been seen in Peoria lighting giant Christmas trees. He's been driving floats. The man is a celebrity, not only in Central Illinois, but across the globe. And in his own basement, where he comes to us right now. Our good friend, Craig Collins, the host of the Craig Collins Show on WJBC.
Hello.
Those are the call letters, aren't they?
No, those are the old ones, but that's okay.
Where are you at now?
WMBD.
MBD. Yeah, okay. I should know that.
Deal.
I'm on there every week. Well, if somebody remembers.
That's fine. Yeah, I forget sometimes.
WMBD. There it is. So WMBD. At least I didn't put
I had most of a beard, Mike, just a couple days ago, and I shaved it. So it'll come back. It'll be back in a couple days.
How are you? Good to see you.
Good. How are you guys?
We are lovely.
Hi. The show's been wonderful tonight.
Has it?
Yeah.
A lot of food talk.
Enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, listen, we're glad you're here because we have a big announcement.
Okay.
Big announcement.
All right.
Big announcement. Craig is going to rejoin at least through December. For the shows we have in December, we're like Real Time and John Oliver. We take a lot of time off for the holidays.
Am I doing it myself?
No. You'll be.
Okay, thank God. Okay,
I'll be here when you're here.
Good.
But we're not going to be here all the time. But yes, while Cody goes on paternity leave, Craig has graciously said he will come back and we'll have some fun during the holidays.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So
that's all accurate.
You don't look very happy about your decision.
It'll be great. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
We are going to have a lot of fun.
People will notice that I will be tired for at least one of those shows for reasons we'll get into later. And then I might be in Mexico for one of those shows too, if I decide to do it.
Wow.
If we need me for any time in January, that is. But we'll see. Yeah.
That'll be fun. Or are you going down you went to Mexico last year for an extended period of time.
This is just a week, as far as I know.
Well, wasn't it supposed to be just a week last time, and then you almost didn't come back?
Yeah, that is true.
Your
but no,
visa expired.
This one's really supposed to be a week, so I really hope it is.
How are things going at WMBD AM?
Good. Things are good. Things are fun. I have no producer, so I make a lot of jokes about that on the radio, and then I get home, and my wife is like, you got to stop telling people. They don't care. So that's very nice.
I think people care.
All right.
People who know the profession care.
I think Betty's point is that people probably have their own challenges at work, and they don't want me making excuses for why my show's not always the best, which is something I think I might be doing. I'm just tired, gentlemen. It'll be great. This will be a fun run.
Everybody makes excuses about their job.
Yes, they do. That's true.
Yes.
So I think it's relatable. I think it's relatable. I mean,
all right, let's do that. Oh, I forgot about this part. You guys tell me I'm good at stuff. Oh, this is great. I do like this.
Aren't you happy to be back?
Right. Yes, I am.
So were you in charge of the tree lighting? Did you push the button? I saw you on Instagram, the Craig Collins Show. Craig Collins Show on Instagram. You can follow Craig there.
So I was joking on my radio show, and then they let me fill in for this thing on a morning thing on a Saturday with Greg Batten. And I kept joking that I would like to drive a float, and it was inappropriate for me to want that because I'm not a celebrity, not here, not anywhere. But someone listening said they would let me.
I beg to differ. I was at a Peruvian coffee shop with you in Peoria. Was it Peruvian or Colombian or?
I can't remember which one.
Some South American country.
Right.
These fine people owned a coffee shop, and you were recognized just by your dulcet tones.
I was. That was cool. Every Terminex guy that's come to this house also listens to my show. I don't know what that says, but I'm crushing it with Terminex people. Which is very nice. And they're not an advertiser, by the way. I'm just crushing it with the Terminexes. But
guys who kill things love to listen to you.
They love this show. So I was joking about it, and someone sent me a Facebook message, and I tried to confirm it with Greg if this was a real person, and he didn't know. He was like, never heard of that guy before in my life. But I showed up. I asked for a name. I got in a door. I did it very Italian, and I drove a float all in the course of like 6 hours. From I'm not going to be a part of that thing to I'm driving one of the, I think it was a 3. I drove a 3-piece. So I drove one of the hardest floats. That was awesome. Yeah,
How much training did you get for that?
Absolutely none. And actually, what's really interesting is I was pretty sure he told me the yoke was the clutch or something. I can't remember what it is now. The choke. There's no yoke. The choke was the clutch. So I drove that thing like the choke was the clutch the whole time, and I probably did irreparable damage to it because that's not right.
I don't know much about engines, but that doesn't seem correct.
Yeah, the choke is cutting off like supply or something, and the clutch would be doing something different.
I don't know what either of those things are.
The clutch changes the gears, and the choke regulates the fuel flow to the engine.
Right. Now, I guess if it's cold, you want to like have the choke open, but if it's not cold, and so it was cold, so he started it, he said what it was, but I thought he said clutch. So every time I had to slow down, I pulled it in, and I stalled at least twice with a car that had no gears.
Yeah, because you kept cutting off the gas.
Right. Right. And I was trying to do it the way, like, where you don't actually like brake, you just pull in the clutch and you just coast for a bit and then rev the engine and let it back off.
Yeah.
That was wrong. That was very wrong.
Oh. All right. Well, see, now you know though for next year.
I do.
When they give you the 4-part float.
Oh, it'll be great. I'm very
now.
Excited
Did you get to see people, or were you like underneath, laying on your belly, like in some of the Macy's floats, where you're like driving it on skateboard?
It was dark, and I don't think anyone like could tell that I was trying to get their attention, but I was trying. I was right there. It was like a little tractor thing. So I was sitting on it. Betty was on it. We were waving, and people probably didn't know why we were waving at them.
Oh, you didn't bring your own signs with this?
I asked for a sign. They couldn't figure it out in time because again, like 6 hours from start. And the afternoon show, we don't have signs made. We don't do stuff that has signs. So I had none. Yeah.
Yeah, they probably would have whipped one up for you at FedEx Express.
I didn't try.
Yeah, you made the mistake of actually talking to people at the station. That's
no. I should have just done it myself and then tried to invoice them.
Go, right, look at I'm a big. Now, what about the tree lighting? You were at the tree lighting the other night too.
I was. Yeah, they didn't.
Did you light the tree?
No, I asked. John Morris is the name of the CEO of the Peoria Riverfront Museum, and when I walked up to him, I had to explain who I was like 6 times, which is not a good sign. And then eventually I was still asking him, like, could I by any chance light it? And he goes, you got to be kidding. And I was like, I'm not totally. And he's like, yeah, no, you can go stand over in this corner. We were a little further away from the tree than everyone else. Because I think he had the other assumption, like he's going to try if he's too close. So,
yeah, well, yeah, you might've stormed it.
I was tempted still. I mean, I just had to get over one barrier and I was there. So would have been nice.
Sounds too easy. Sounds way too
well, it could have gone a lot worse. I brought my son to we have a park like a half-mile south of us that does a big lighting. They light the whole park. There's tree, everything's wrapped. They got moving lights, everything. So we went to the official lighting of it Saturday, and we get there, all the lights are out in the park. There's like 1,000 people that are walking around. It's pitch dark, and then everybody starts counting down. Oh, we're gonna turn on all the lights. I got my son on my shoulders, and we're like prepping him all night. We're like, oh, they're gonna turn on the lights on. It's gonna be so cool. And then we go 3, 2, 1, and then all the lights pop on, and he just immediately starts crying. Like,
really?
Totally bursted in tears. Very uncharacteristic for him. There was no sound. There was no fireworks. Nothing happened. Just lights turned on. And apparently that was too much for him, and he just couldn't handle it. So you still had a better, at least if neither you nor your wife burst into tears, I'd call that a win.
Betty came close. It's like a 10-ton tree or something. It's pretty big.
It was very large. It was impressive just seeing it on Instagram.
Right. Yeah, no. And when all the lights pop on, although I think that's a mistake. Betty was explaining to me the way they do it in Mexico as we were leaving. And apparently they do like the runner light thing, like when a gumball is leaving that cool machine.
Yeah.
And that sounds way better than what we do. We just like flip a switch and everything goes on.
Yeah, so, yours was an explosion of light.
Right. Yeah, it's
cool. I found it very, very cool, though.
Oh, awesome. It's cool. Betty's idea is better. So next year, I got to tell John Morris that I am lighting the tree, and he'll probably hit me with stuff. And then I'll also tell him the right way to light the tree.
Right. You need to get with the lighting designer and do a whole big thing.
Get a competing tree.
Mine would be
with them.
Way littler. Because again, we talked about the budget. I couldn't get a sign to go to the one event, but I'll try to get a tree for next year.
I think, talk to the parade people. They obviously love you.
That's true.
Of course, they've already put out a lot of money to replace the engine on that tractor. So they may not be willing to fork over for a tree.
Yeah, they loved me up until they checked on that vehicle.
Have you, we were going to talk just quickly because we're almost out of time, but did you do any decorating at your casa?
Yes, I did. I'm going to text you guys. It's on my phone. It's used for the camera. But I did. My mother was listening, and I was joking about how I wanted a Clark Griswold. I think I was telling you too, Noonan. Yeah. I want a Clark Griswold version of a house. Like last year, we barely decorated, and it's our second year in the house. My mother bought us like 6 inflatable things. So they're all in my front yard. It's inappropriate, though. Like there's not enough space. So it's all there. The lights are sort of thrown around. It's not very well done. But there's a lot of brightness when you walk in front of my home. So I'm very happy about it. Yeah.
What kind of inflatables?
We have
the
2
Santa
different
coming out of the outhouse?
We got Santa climbing a tree and a dog biting him, so his pants are down and you can see the underwear. That's obviously an important one. You got just a big snowman who's very happy, but then you got the sleigh with Santa and the snowman. So I was trying to tell a story. My narrative is that they're flying in first, then Santa gets caught in the tree and the snowman thinks it's hilarious. If you see it, it's in there.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I like how you're laying that out for everybody.
I think it's there. Betty still doesn't think it's there. Okay, good.
Well, now, all right, here's a question with the inflatables. Do you leave them on all the time, or are they on a timer and then during the day they're just dead plastic on your yard?
So that was actually a big debate this weekend. You're asking wonderful questions, Brian Noonan. It's like you do this for a living.
I've been interviewing people for a couple days. I'm getting pretty good at it. Cody actually writes all my questions because he, he has a wonderful background as a podcast professional and a producer.
I've heard. So over the weekend, we were having a little bit of a debate, and I am a no switch guy. Everything is smart in my home. I don't like to touch switches. I'm very anti the switch. And
all right, Howie Mandel, relax.
I don't know. I like to command it. And so I found this little stake that you can put in your front yard. That's a waterproof, smart thing. And so I got it, and Betty thought it was a complete waste of money, like an idiotic waste of money. Oh, no. But now I can say out loud, I can't say it right now because it'll go on. I can tell my Amazon device to turn on my Christmas lights, and it all turns on. So it does go off during the day. It actually turns on, and she plays Christmas music every day that she turns it on. So it's kind of great.
Wow, that's festive.
I think it was necessary. Betty says that it was a $30 expense we didn't need. So we're two different camps. Right.
Now, did you get your ladder last week? Cody was mad at me because I don't know why. Something he felt he was competing against me. You ruined it.
I
ruined outside, Christmas for him.
I don't have outside Christmas lights on my house because I don't have a ladder. And Brian was like, "Oh, just get the pole with the clip thing." Mm-hmm. And I got the pole with the clip thing, and the pole with the clip thing sucks.
Yeah,
and
I couldn't get it.
I couldn't get it to work on my. Now maybe I've got a guard or something stopping. I don't know. Maybe it's my fault, but it's still Brian's fault ultimately in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
I do not have. What I do have, then I will say, the floodlights on our porch and the garage light bulbs, right? The 2 garage lights. Those I got smart bulbs that are now red and green. So we at least have a red and green Christmas glow on our house, but we do not have any actual strings of lights up on the house.
Okay. I don't have any strings of lights up on my house either. I have them on my trees, guys, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it straight. I did it the way like a kid draws in like a thing. And they
Scribble Scrabble, as we like to call it at school.
Yeah, because trying to draw in the lines, but they're real bad at it. Like the worst kid in that class is the way my lights look on my trees. And I'm okay with that because I was just sort of throwing them. And I don't know. I might go back at some point and fix it. But for now, it looks fine. Why bother?
It's going to get cold.
Right. And it's still like the light part is working. It just doesn't light up the whole tree. It's like ziggy zag.
Ziggy zag.
That's what I went with. Yeah. That's the word I went with.
Yeah. That's what I would have gone with.
I've got a lot of lights in the bushes, as you can imagine.
So good. Can't wait to be on the show every Monday. Sorry, what?
I have a lot of lights in the bushes, tall bushes, short bushes.
Nice.
I used to go inflatables.
Do you do the net?
No.
For the bushes?
No.
Okay. No.
I have one net. I have one net for a bush, but it's too small. So I went and bought another net. Yeah, the blue, it's a blue net. It didn't match. It was a different color blue, so I had to return it. It's been a nightmare. Do
you guys know that people do this? That you can like call a guy and they'll put them all up for you?
I brought that up. Cody was offended.
Yeah. That's the most offensive thing I've ever heard.
It's like roofing people. They'll do this now during Christmas because they don't have like work with fixing your roof.
If I had the dough, I'd love it.
It's somebody did it on my block. The guy was driving away and he did an excellent freaking job.
Yeah, of course
I have no idea how much it costs. Yeah.
Probably a lot more than any of us want to pay.
Yeah, I just threw mine. Yeah.
Yeah, you threw. He's not going to ziggy zaggy your yard.
He did not ziggy zaggy.
Reputation. He's not going to go, look at that guy. That's what he said. That's how he sells your neighbors these big packages. He goes, you want to look like Ziggy Zaggy over there?
Maybe I launch a competing company that is much cheaper and I ziggy zag everything. I just throw it all in. And it's only a few bucks, like $15, and I'll do all the lights for you.
It's called No F's Given Christmas Illumination.
There will be lights is the name of the company.
Ooh. You want them? Here they are. That's all you get. Am I the only one who has anything religious on their outdoor decorations?
I got a nativity scene.
Okay, very good.
Only Joseph lights up though. Mary and baby Jesus do not want to be lit up, so it's an issue.
Mine's just a white silhouette nativity scene, and then I put a nice white spotlight on it.
Nice. That's nice.
Oh, it's elegant. Very elegant. And it's PVC. It's PVC, so it should last me.
You've been doing this for years now because you've owned a home for years. Cody and I are relatively new to this process. So
let me throw this wrinkle in too. I am also a prize-winning Christmas house decorator.
Really?
Yes. 1 year in Frankfurt, I won a Christmas award. I had the yard sign. The village came around, put a sign in my yard.
Okay.
And then I got a certificate.
Yeah.
And man, oh man. So don't think, Steve.
Wow.
I think you're older than I am.
I'm sorry. By the way, you said you won a major award. Is that what you did?
I won an award. I won an award from the village. Yes.
Okay. Can I throw? So I see it's 10 o'clock. I assume that's when this show ends. Can I throw something out there for the listeners the viewers to marinate on until next week? A Christmas Story is a bad movie. It's not good. That's not a good Christmas movie.
Wow.
It's just bad.
Yes. I am going to rethink your commitment to this program.
No, Craig
is good.
Probably the worst
Craig
take
so
ever.
Right. Craig has
Who are
never
you, my
been
wife
more
and
right.
daughter?
It's not good.
I've never been more in agreement with Craig. This is this is
you
the
sit
best.
down to it and people tell you how great it is, even if you've seen it before, and some new person is like, "Oh, we got to watch it this year because it's a tradition," and you don't have fun. All of 7 minutes in.
None of it.
Majority of it.
None of it is fun. Nothing about it is
There's
fun.
like two moments that are kind of fun.
Because you two are too young and whippersnappery, and you're just, you're a guy who'll zigzaggy his tree. You don't know old school.
I want to watch parents beat their kid and have him shoot his eye with a gun.
Now,
and that's really hilarious.
I don't care about that part.
That's really hilarious.
Steve points this out. I watched. So I'm guessing you're not watching the new sequel, A Christmas Story, Christmas Story?
I would watch it, but I don't have any high hopes.
It was pretty good. The fun part was seeing all the kids grown up because all the original kids are back as adults.
Oh.
And so that's funny. The story's a little bittersweet. I'm not going to give it away. No spoilers. But
Okay.
I bet
I
they
would
all
have been
get
really
cancer.
upset. Yeah.
That would be in line with the first movie. They all get cancer and die or something, and then it's like, oh, what a heartwarming movie! Like that. Like no,
who had cancer and died in the first movie?
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody. Was the Guardians of the Galaxy thing good? I don't have Disney Plus right now.
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
My friend said it was amazing.
It sounds like it's like way better than A Christmas Story. Like 1 to 10, it's way better from what I've heard. So very excited about that movie as
Last
a
night
new,
we
a
watched
new
the
holiday
new-
classic.
We watched the new Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell
Oh,
movie.
is that good?
No.
Yeah, it's bad. That's because they're not hiring good writers. So these streaming platforms are taking like ideas, and then no one's hiring someone who can write stuff. They're just making things. Yeah.
This was just another remake of A Christmas Carol, but with Broadway type songs wedged in everywhere. To the point where one of the characters kept mocking the fact that everybody was singing all the time.
It sounds like that weird Apple TV show that I definitely watched all of, like Schmood. What was it called?
Well, did you watch Schmigadoon?
Yes, I did watch Schmigadoon. Yes, I did.
I did not.
Yes, I saw every episode of Schmigadoon, and they would just randomly sing.
All right. Yeah, these people were singing all, and it's Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds trying to sing, and Octavia Spencer trying to sing, and there's big background production numbers, and everybody dancing around. It's like, oh boy.
Back in the old days, didn't they let the like famous actor do the acting, and then they would pipe in another singer to do the singing?
Yeah, these guys.
Shouldn't we do that again? No. That needs to come back.
The ego-driven Hollywood machine will not allow it, Craig. Will not allow it.
I don't need another Christmas Carol in my life. My wife has been talking about the Mr. Magoo Christmas special, and she's really wanted to watch it. So she's hot on this. So she's like, okay, let's watch it. I'm like, great. She puts it on. It's A Christmas Carol. And like, I've watched Mr. Magoo, the cartoon. It's about a guy. The whole gag is he can't see. So he like walks into places he shouldn't, and he doesn't read signs, right? And it's funny. This is not that. It's like, there's one scene of him walking on stage, and he's like, oh, I couldn't find the stage. And then it's just A Christmas Carol. Like there's like maybe one line about his like, oh, I can't see real great. Maybe I should get glasses. That's it. Otherwise, it's just A Christmas Carol. So it's like, I don't need this. And there's songs in it.
It's not as good as the best Christmas Carol version, which has the Muppets in it. So that's
The Muppets Christmas Carol is a good Christmas Carol. I still go back to the Alistair Cook, the old black and white one that's scary. That's my favorite Christmas Carol.
Never heard of it.
Terrifying. It's the original one.
I don't know what you're saying.
I've seen it.
I think Kermit wrote that. I think Jim Henson wrote that.
Kermit wrote the Christmas Carol? No, this is the one that came out in the 30s.
Charles. I don't know what you're saying.
Alistair Cook, not Charles. Alistair Sims. All right, Alistair
I was talking about the person who wrote the Christmas Carol when I said Charles, but that's okay.
Oh, that was Dickens.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was showing that I'm not actually an idiot. I was saying I thought Kermit wrote it.
Oh, nobody said you were an idiot.
I was doing it.
Well, I did when you said that A Christmas Story was the worst movie ever.
Who's Alistair Dickens?
Alistair Dickens is, I don't know. That's
Charles Dickens' brother. He actually did all the writing, and Charles took the credit.
Alistair Dickens is a great name. If I ever need like a fake name for a thing, that's definitely the name I'm going to choose.
That's your porn name, isn't it?
Well,
you just spelled Dickens differently.
Oh, yay. Here we are doing the thing.
Listen, there's no politics. We're just having fun. You're just doing porn.
I gotta ask one question. I'm really glad you're on for the Christmas. We had Christmas decorating on the agenda, but like I got a question. I feel like at my home I end up not decorating certain things because of indecisiveness, or I'll say like for a tree, we don't have a tree topper. We do not have a tree topper. We had a Moravian star that we got from North Carolina, but it's too heavy and we don't have like a little like latch thing for it. So we're like, what do we do? I kind of want an angel. And then she's like, I don't really care, but I'm not sure if I want it to be a religious thing. Then I found a Star Trek thing where you can get the Enterprise on top, but it's $130 from Hallmark. And that seems like a lot of money for a tree topper. And then I'm like, I don't want some generic star. And then you look up nerd stars and it's just all the Mario Brothers star. And we're not doing the Mario Brothers star because all our ornaments are Star Trek ornaments. So like, I just don't know what to do. What do you guys do in your home?
All your ornaments are Star Trek ornaments.
He shared it with Dr. Cody Gough. He shared it with her, the missus, right? She likes it as much as you do now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So then I think you have to go with the Enterprise. I do think the right answer is $130 Enterprise.
I do, because that's not $130 for 1 year. It's $130 it'll last 10 years.
That's 20 years. That's fair. Well, when I'm decorating, I just want to know you guys' perspective because you're both married. Like, do you ever like, how do you determine the decorations? Do you ever see a decoration and you're like, I want that, and then you just kind of tell your wife and she's like, okay? Or is everything in negotiation for anything you put in your home?
Brian, you want to go first?
Yeah, I have our tree topper is a Tasmanian devil angel wearing a black leather jacket that I have had since my first tree. Now, Debbie, I was with Debbie when I bought it, but we were not married.
Okay.
Since then, that has been the main tree topper. And there's been a couple, like we had, at one point we had a bunch of different trees. So like on one tree, we had a Waterford tree topper, but the main tree has always had Taz on top. And a couple times Debbie has said, well, maybe we should find something different. And I'm like,
yeah,
when I'm dead, you can put whatever you want on top of the tree. But as long as I'm alive and decorating the tree, Taz is going to be on top of my tree.
I will answer your question, Cody, by showing you why Betty has decided I'm not allowed to buy other stuff. She says that I already collect toys. And so anytime I want like a decoration that's a toy, I'm not allowed to have it because I do the pop figurines. It's Derek Jeter. He's in the box. This is Michael Jordan. He's in the box. But I have a lot of pop figurines.
Right, but how are those aren't Christmas related?
I know, but she says that like there's too many toys now. So
Is that Vegeta with a Scouter and Frieza and Super Saiyan Goku?
Yeah, that's that power level 9000 Vegeta. I opened that box because how could you not?
I opened that box.
Vito Corleone, by the way, personal hero of mine, and then Sonic the Hedgehog is also in his box still. So yeah, no, I have a lot of these, and so. You know, she leverages that, and then I don't get the decorations I want because they would also be like this stuff, like, you know, childish stuff on my tree.
The very front of our tree has a glass blown gnome Captain America ornament.
Nice.
Right dead center.
Yes. I did get a Goku. I do have a Goku ornament that is on the tree right now. So that's the only one. Yeah. It's $9. That was very disappointing.
That's cheap for a nice ornament.
Well, it's not nice. I don't know if I'd call it nice.
Actually, hold on. Mike in the chat said, threw out a couple of Star Trek references. Deep Space Nine. I actually do have a Deep Space Nine ornament that would work as a tree topper. It's on the tree right now. I should pull that out and make that the tree topper temporarily until I decide to spend $130 on this ornament.
You know what? The 26, buy that tree topper.
Do you guys have real trees or fake trees?
Fake.
We did real up until last year because just with a 2-year-old, it's hard, or 1-year-old, or however old he was.
Okay.
What is your deal?
I also caved on the fake tree this year. We didn't get a tree last year, which is a bah humbug moment. I know we just didn't do it. We were first year in the house and it just felt like too much work. So we just didn't do it. We had the decorations in the house and some decorations outside. I didn't have a good excuse. I'm going to pretend.
We don't have first year in a house. There's a lot to do.
We don't have a child that like would care about seeing a Christmas tree. So we didn't do that. But so this year I really, really wanted a real one. But I had one condition. And again, Betty decided that was a bad condition. The condition was that I wanted to cut the tree down entirely on my own. I wanted to go out alone, cut it down and come back and be like a man who provided a tree to the home. And
just in somebody's yard or the park, or did you have
a
place in mind?
I've heard things about state parks and how you might be allowed to do stuff or it might be highly illegal, either or. But no, so that was my plan, to go out with my 96 Jeep that is a bad car and then put a tree on it and come back home. And the bigger the tree, the better. But I wouldn't let her come with me. And she thought that was a bad idea.
I got to agree with her on this one.
Okay.
I don't agree with her stance on the ornaments, but I agree with her on the stance. I agree with her on the stance of, I'd like to see the tree that's going to be in my house for the next couple months.
Now, I wanted the opportunity to go cut it down myself and bring it home.
Yeah, you gotta trust the man in the house for that kind of thing.
Right. Wow. The largest tree I could possibly find. I don't care about the dimensions of my home. I want the biggest
Clark Griswold.
Tree. See again.
Little full, a lot of sap.
You can always cut more of it off.
No.
You could cut,
why would I do that?
If it would, I'm just saying.
Sure, then you cut it off the top. Then it's just a bush.
I just open a window.
You got this round evergreen ball in your house.
I don't know. That's the dream I had. And so I'll have that dream for another few years, I guess, guys. Someday I'm going to go and I'm going to cut down a tree on my own.
Just bring it home. She can say like
we just bought the thing. I went to the Walmart. I bought the one. It's like $100 and something. I'm not going to. No. Not this year.
Well, not this year, but I'm just saying next year, just cut one down and throw it in the front yard and then be like, hey, how do you like this tree?
Yeah, but then you gotta buy a new stand, and trees are expensive.
I know they are. It's crazy.
You got to get your money's worth out of this. I always had a fake one because my first year living alone, I had a real one, but I was living in a small town. I was working there, so I wasn't leaving. Once I moved back to the Chicago area, I always had a tree. Even when I was single, I always had a tree. I love Christmas trees. So I was always decorated, but I was also on the road. So I had to get an artificial tree so that it didn't die while I was, or it didn't dry out. It's already dying. But so I've always had an artificial tree. And since I can't smell the beauty of the tree in the house, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah. I've been disappointed that my artificial tree doesn't smell. I would like it to smell like something.
Let me give you a pro hack that I learned from my wife, who has a sense of smell. Go out and get like a nice live evergreen like centerpiece or a wreath to hang on the inside of your door, and you're going to get that smell in your house.
Okay.
Get the candles. We have like 3
candle?
Yankee candles that are like tree flavored candles.
No,
I don't know how they smell. I just eat them typically when I'm really hungry at night, but they taste kind of minty. But no,
here's the problem though. I can't command Alexa to turn that on for me. So I don't think I can do the candle thing.
Turn on the candle?
And there's going to be a day.
I like that you just enjoy commanding people to do people or things to do things.
I'm just gonna say it because I know they're off right now. Alexa, turn on the Christmas lights, and they're gonna go on. So it's gonna be nice.
And all of a sudden, there's gonna be a scream down the stairs. Why are the lights on?
No, that's okay.
Okay, I'm on Etsy right now. There's an Alexa Play I Stay Fly soy candle quote candle. Wait, is this just a gimmick? I should probably read the description. No, there are scents. Here we go. Green tea. And this is it's candles that are handmade, wax. I don't know, man. Check Etsy. You might be able to do it. $25.
Okay. I'm in.
Caribbean teak wood. Is that does that smell like a tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, a teak tree in the Caribbean.
Right.
Like you're at a tiki bar getting wasted on blue hurricanes.
Well, that's a Christmas I want to have at some point.
Me too. I said that earlier. I want to be on a beach somewhere for Christmas or in New Orleans, getting all liquored. Merry Christmas.
Should we transition to the final topic?
Let's do it.
We have a rundown?
Oh, yeah. You missed the rundown. We do rundowns now. We do all kinds of stuff now.
Who does those out of the two of you?
Well, listen, we both bring our own bring our own topics, and then we tell each other the topics, and then Cody works up a rundown.
Fantastic.
Topics.
And then I make up topics.
And then we go completely off topic.
Yeah. Do you? I got to ask you both. What day would? How late would you say is too late to decide on a baby's name?
5 years old. No, I don't know.
I wasn't going to go quite that long, but I'd say. I don't know if they'll let you leave the hospital without naming it.
Yeah, right. I think that's a thing.
I think you got it. It's like when they chip a dog when you adopt.
Could you name it TBD?
Huh. Well, my last name is Gough, so it would be TBG. And I'm not sure that
to be Goughed.
To be Goughed later.
Today we decided on the baby name, and we do have a scheduled delivery. I'm not going to spoil all of it, but I will say that by this time next week, I should have a happy, healthy human, hopefully. And we just today decided, finally landed on it was the middle name that really was the hang up. The first we kind of had figured out, but the middle was quite the hang up. So, but we're finally there. And
are you naming the baby Zelda?
That was a finalist for the middle name.
I said to Debbie and Molly that Zelda was probably on the list.
I'm not kidding, but here's why, Craig. It's because my wife's mom texted her a short list of female names in the family from like grandparents and great aunts and stuff. And there is a Zelda in her family. So Zelda actually came up.
I can't get ornaments for my tree because I have too many toys, and you could almost name your kid Zelda. That's almost happened.
Zelda Sonic Gough.
Right. It would have been the middle name. The first name is not.
That's like amazing.
Yeah, it was an almost, but it'll be cool. So
I don't think it was really an almost. Actually, hold on. I don't think it was really an almost. I think she let you think it was an almost up until right now, but I feel like it wasn't. I feel like it wasn't an almost. And I don't want to send you off with that idea.
I think it probably was.
No, I don't think so.
I think it was considered for more than. I think it was considered for more time than you think, Craig. Okay. But it may have not had a serious chance, but it wasn't discounted out of hand.
Were you playing the video game at all?
No, I hadn't played the game in a while. Okay. Actually, she dismissed 2 other names out of hand because she thought that they were wrestling references I was trying to make.
What were they?
One was
Since you've discounted them.
Rockina, which I get.
Sure.
I guess that's
I
kind of like
smell
the
what
Rock.
you were cooking there.
Yeah, that's a little bit like the Rock. One was
Wait, no, hold on. No, stop. Why did you actually want Rockina to be a name of a child? Why did we want this?
I didn't want Rockina. I actually, at one point, I wanted 2 middle names, and the middle name's initials would be CM. So it would be the first name CM Gough, like Gough,
CM
like
Punk. Yeah.
and
wow.
And then she was like, "That's the legacy we want to leave," and I'm like, "Not really."
Yeah.
So we.
Why are you being evasive about the names you rejected?
Oh, I'm not. I don't remember. I don't remember the actual full names.
I thought he was being evasive, Noonan. No,
it seemed a little. Now let me ask you this: is your new baby's name going to complement your existing baby's name?
They'll be different, pretty different.
Well, yeah, I know you're not.
It's not going to be Victorian if that's what you're asking. My current baby is. I don't think anyone's named what I named my son since like 1840. Which is or in Ireland probably more recently. But this is not going to be that. This will be a more modern name.
So it's not a made-up name either.
No, not a made-up name.
Okay, good.
Not a made-up name.
That's good.
No made-up.
That's
Is it Kimbo Slice?
It is Kimbo Slice.
Right.
That's amazing.
Kimbo Slice. George Foreman actually was the second. The 2 other middle names we were.
That's gonna be a moniker. That's gonna be an expensive. When you get those shirts embroidered for the kid, it's gonna be a lot.
Make sure that child fills out all their names, every paper thing that they do. Kimbo Slice, George Foreman, Gough.
I think that's
going to be a lot on a driver's license someday.
It really is.
And yet, actually, we ordered stockings the other day. Well, 2 stockings because our kids need stockings.
Sure.
And so we committed to the first name. We got that name in the stocking because you can order on Etsy. You can get the name embroidered on the stocking.
Sure.
My son's name is very long. It's like 14 letters. So I'm wondering how small the font is going to be on that.
I'm going to say the letters are going to be microscopic.
When it shows
either that or the stocking is going to be like one of those big novelty stockings that you see that you can win at a raffle where they're like 6 feet tall and 5 feet wide. Just a giant stocking.
I'm just really concerned because my Starbucks gift card is empty. That I have. It's only like a $1 balance, and coffee's like $3 these days. And I don't know if there's going to be a Starbucks in the hospital.
No, you better take care of that right now. Because Craig, do you remember last time?
I do. I recall. Yeah. It's good.
You better get this coffee situation in hand immediately.
They should teach that during like the Lamaze classes or whatever. How Cody gets his coffee.
Yeah.
I think I've been to one of those in downtown Chicago. The Lamaze coffee.
They're very good.
Oh, I'll keep trying to make this funny. Wait, we'll eventually get there.
I was just
his joke.
Unlike you, I don't just drop the hammer on it. I'm going to yes and it till we get it all the way down.
Thanos was also voted down as a middle name. Apparently, it's not unisex enough.
It's a shame.
I don't know.
I would totally name a kid Thanos. That sounds awesome.
If you were Greek, if you had a Greek last name, I'd throw Thanos in there.
Right. That sounds so cool. Thanos, come here. Thanos, clean your room. Oh my God, that sounds so awesome.
Thanos, with half the cookies.
Right.
Get a little gauntlet. It'll be great.
Yeah.
So the baby is coming sometime this week.
Yeah, we're getting the baby this week, and I feel ready. People are like, "Are you ready?" It's like, dude, I've been unemployed for a month. I have nothing. I have no hobbies. I have no friends nearby. I have nothing to do. I have nothing. I have nothing in my life but waiting for this baby. Like, please, God, just give me this baby so I have something to do.
Now, last week I asked if your son was going to get a gift from your daughter, and last night Saturday night at Fake Thanksgiving, Molly asked, "Is the baby going to send your son home a gift from the hospital?" I'm like, oh, "You've heard of this?" She goes, "Yeah." And I guess it's a thing. Her friends said they all got gifts from the baby when they were in the hospital. Craig, have you ever heard of this?
No.
It's like, so the baby, quote unquote, sends a gift home to the new sibling, something small, like a coloring book or a comic book or something. And when my dad would come home, he'd go, "Oh, this is from your brother. He can't wait to meet you." We go, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And I guess people still do it to bribe the siblings not to kill the new baby.
Isn't there also a gift that a woman gets for giving birth? Like actually after you popped out a child? No. There's a real thing. There was like a gift that, I don't know. I saw this recently as a story. I feel like I talked about it on the radio, that there's
a post-birth gift?
Yes. That people are doing that now, where like someone gives a person a gift for actually popping out the kid. That's not not the bridal shower or whatever it is, the baby shower.
Rejuvenation surgery.
Oh God, do I need to get her another gift? I barely even know what to get her for Christmas. I just stepped on that. That was a good one. That took me a second.
Oh.
There is there is a new mom gift set. There's the soothing recovery postpartum gift box.
Yes, that's a thing. They're doing it now.
God.
People are giving gifts. No, not the placenta. That's a great joke too, Mike. Well played, Mike.
I was gonna take the car to the car wash before we go to the hospital.
Oh, and I thought
that was pretty fancy. Like no, the whole like $40 like vacuum it in, like soap it up detail.
Wow.
Soap it up.
You're gonna get the MVP.
Yeah, shampoo the carpets, all that stuff,
I will say I didn't do it to take her to the hospital. I had it washed when I was bringing the baby home.
Take her. Rest in peace.
I would not make any joke related anywhere near death when I'm talking about my unborn baby. But that's me.
I wasn't talking about my unborn baby. You were talking. I was interrupting.
No, we were talking about your car.
Well, I have pop figurines if we want to just change the topic of conversation.
Wait a minute.
Look at these. Look at that.
Toys?
Dude, I don't have like any Dragon Ball Z merchandise. I'm very jealous of all of those.
I have a Super Saiyan Vegeta up there too. And Rush the dog from Mega Man. I have some other stuff.
I have two versions of Captain America.
Hold on, let me get Rush. All
right. I have two versions of Captain America and an Elvis Funko Pop in here.
I have an Elvis.
Mr. Potato Head.
I have an Elvis Funko Pop that you gave me, and it's in the next room, but I know where it is. And I've seen all your Captain America stuff many times. I haven't seen all of Craig's Mega Man stuff, which is incredible. Because when I was little, when we were kids, Brian, when we were kids, oh my God, we would have killed for any video game merchandise to exist. And now there's Funko Pops of Mega Man.
Do you know who this is?
Is that from? Hold on.
Oh, is that the Winter Soldier?
No, that's a nice one. I wish that was what that was. This is from Mass Effect, the video game.
Oh, I thought it was. And I haven't really played Mass Effect.
Super Saiyan Vegeta. See, this is why I'm not allowed to buy other stuff. I buy all this crap.
No, you should be allowed to buy whatever you want.
And then I have Thor's hammer too, but I feel like I've showed you guys that before.
Yeah, we've seen Moslamar or Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Yeah.
Mjolnir. Yeah. Good talk.
But yeah, listen, you're a guy who drives floats in a parade. You should be able to buy whatever the hell you want.
Amen, guys. Amen.
Go listen, honey.
Thank you both.
I love you. But
how dare you want our tree to be appealing to other people and not just me?
Well, it should just be appealing to you too.
No, I don't. She's got like a really good. She makes things look pretty and nice, and they all look fancy.
She's part of it, but there's got to be a compromise, right?
No, I don't think so. She's right. I'm wrong. I'm still married happily.
You know what you do? You're downstairs. Get a little tree for your downstairs. Make it a funny tree.
Yeah, a little one or a giant one.
The biggest tree you can wedge into your basement and leave it up year round.
Without even having I go chop down my own tree for the basement, and I don't even get a stand to put it in.
Right, you just put it on
the ground,
like the Blair Witch Christmas, and it just rots. And then one day it just catches on fire. The whole house is gone. You go, see, if you had let me put my Funko Pops upstairs, none of this would have happened.
That's accurate. All that is true.
It all plays out.
That's a great passive aggressive idea from me. Thank you.
Listen,
for me.
Yeah, I think it'd work.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll be great. Do you have a good divorce lawyer? Do you know one? Just out of curiosity.
Listen, I'm in a war of attrition. I don't need a divorce lawyer. Nobody's leaving here. Nobody's leaving here without 6 guys carrying them.
I really hope that I have the opportunity between naps to tune in to this
whatever
show.
We're going to talk about.
Yep.
I'm not at the Noonan level yet. I can't make jokes quite like that yet. I would get in trouble.
You have multiple times.
Not that joke.
Yeah, I was going to say
all the jokes I make are about listening to the missus. I don't go rogue. My jokes are about how I have no say and stuff.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I make all the jokes because I know the truth. But now I can say whatever I want.
No, that's I can't wait to get there.
Because quite frankly, she doesn't listen to this. So
Oh yeah, no, Betty wouldn't watch this.
Yeah,
it's not good.
You know, unless Debbie comes up early, which she might have done tonight. Then I don't have to worry about it. I can mouth off all I want. She knows the truth. She's not going to get mad. It's just me running my mouth like I have for the last 30 some years. That's just the way it goes. Well, listen, Everybody's very excited that you're coming back, Craig,
Mhm.
except for you. So that's this is. I'm sure it's going to work out. I'm sure it's going to work out
It's gonna
great.
be so good, yeah. All right, I'm
And,
quitting. By the way, right now, I'm quitting.
Are you?
Currently, yeah, just no.
Again,
No,
that makes sense.
No,
That's
no. I'm gonna quit during every show. We'll find a moment
Okay.
where I quit during the
All
show
right.
every week.
You know what? Here's what we do. Well, no, I was going to say take bets, but that would.
Yeah, I would
might be able
fix
to-
that. I'm an
Yeah,
Italian.
pretty easy
You
to
can't.
fix.
Yeah, right. So we got to figure out a way for people to guess what Craig's gonna, maybe go. That's the moment. Craig goes, no, that wasn't the moment.
We can create like a Gmail that only you have access to, and everyone can send when they think that I'm going to quit the show.
When's Craig gonna quit?
Right.
Oh, before
Yeah.
Brian says hello, I think this week. something's going on.
By
Well,
the way,
listen.
big announcement. I'm not going to be here next week. Sorry, guys. I'm out. It's been fun.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks for coming on
And I'm
tonight.
back. I'm thrilled to be back. Thank you so much
you're
for having
back.
me. Yeah.
All right, this is exciting.
I have whiplash already.
I do too.
And I only have one
Whiplash
drink.
and vertigo, and irritable bowel. I got it all.
Yeah, it's no good.
Listen, is it going to be Yankees hat, or are you going to switch to a Santa hat the closer we get to the holidays?
No, I just Yankee hat or bust, man.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's not.
I need to get a Yankee Santa hat. I think that would be
Oh.
appropriate.
Listen,
Maybe they make one. Hold on, let me go.
Maybe
New
Santa
Era
will
is
bring you one.
New Era is doing some holiday drops, and a couple
Ooh.
of them are holiday related.
Ooh,
Yeah, you might.
there is a
maybe-
Yankee Santa hat. All right, I'll get this.
That'd be good.
Okay, good.
All right. Yeah. Well, Mike jumped in. All right. So listen, Cody. In all seriousness, good luck this week.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Please keep us posted on everything.
I'll text
Please
you.
tomorrow, go load your Starbucks card.
Yeah.
Because Starbucks opens very early in the morning.
Yeah.
So be ready. Get caffeinated.
Yeah.
Learn from your past mistakes.
Mhm.
And then do whatever you're going to do, because you're not going to listen to me.
Right.
Why would you? I just
Yeah.
make sense all the time. People discount my counsel, but to their peril. I got to be honest, to their peril. All right. Craig,
That got very ominous at the end.
It
I don't
did.
know what's going to happen now.
that's why I bring it in.
Dangerous.
Listen,
that was-
I feel
you're
like
not
we're
going to have to
go
quit because I'm
Cody.
killing everybody.
I know.
Taking
Yeah.
everybody out.
I
Well,
feel like
glad-
after the show, we're
I'm
going to have
glad
to talk
you-
about how we're beating them up.
I'm
Sorry, go
glad
ahead.
you'll be here, Craig. I cannot wait to listen in when I can, if I can, and I'll be back in like a month. So, happy holidays, everybody. Mostly Merry Christmas, because that's what I celebrate, but also the other ones are fine, I guess, if you're not like me.
Wow, Kanye. We'll throw out a happy Hanukkah to everybody. That's all right. Cody, leave it on a high note. Craig, we're gonna have to deal with that fallout next week. When we get Alex Jones on, we'll talk about what Cody said right before he left.
Yeah, like to leave a trail of destruction behind me.
No doubt.
By the way, I quit.
There it is again.
Was it because I mentioned Alex Jones?
Someone's gonna
I
make
don't
a
like
tally.
him. Alex Jones is terrible. He's awesome.
Someone's got to tally it every night. Tally every night.
Mhm.
How many times Craig quits? See which week he quits the most.
All right. Well, listen, Craig, we will talk to you next week, right?
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. I
The
guess.
12th. Yeah. Next
Maybe.
week. And then you can tell us, because you got a lot of stuff coming up. But
Mhm.
as you can read down here, you can listen to Craig every afternoon from 3 to 6 on WMBD. Go to WMBD.com, stream that. You don't have any of the national stuff coming up before next week, do you?
No, I don't have anything this week. Just
Okay.
just that show.
So we'll plug the national stuff next week.
Cool.
Because Craig's national. Once
Just
he
this
started
show.
driving floats,
this
he
one.
started doing shows all over.
That show.
He'd do shows all over the country.
Yes.
They heard this a guy who not only can host a fine radio show, he could drive a float if we need to.
And damage it permanently.
Right. Well, they leave that part out.
But
in the
survive
res-
the
in your
parade,
resume.
right. Yeah.
Survive the parade.
All right. So thank you for listening. Thanks for being
Mhm.
part of it. Jumping in the chat. We will talk to you again next week. Craig and I will. Cody will be on paternity leave. You could drop us a note. Let us know if Esmeralda, is that her? Whatever the name is. We won't say it. But the daughter.
The
And then
daughter.
we want to know how the son reacts to the daughter.
I can't wait to get into that. I can't wait
Aw.
to see how he responds. So yeah, I'll
Aw.
text you guys about that. And if anybody is just dying for some more Cody this month, dropping a new episode of Game Life Balance US tomorrow at
nice.
GameLifeBalance.us or on all the podcast platforms. I make it for me. 17 people listened to the last episode. You probably weren't one of them if you're listening to this. I don't care. I did it for me. I am completely selfish, which is why I'm having 2 children.
3 weeks into my brother's life, I asked to return him to the hospital. So,
Did you?
yeah, I said he's been fun, but I'd like to send him back now.
You know why?
Better
because he didn't bring you a gift from the hospital.
That's true.
Why.
That's right.
That is. Yeah.
If he had bribed you with a comic book, you'd have been like, this guy
You're
is
right.
fantastic.
So good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good luck, Cody.
Yes.
You end it like you always do.
Okay, bye.
I quit.
Hey.